Hey leaders, thank you so much for taking the time to be able to build our culture here at MSCKids together. It has been a tremendous past couple of weeks as we have been building our culture together and making MSCKids the best experience possible for the kids that come through our door. We've been seeing kids just grow in their relationship with the Lord, leaving knowing how loved they are by their Heavenly Father. Well, today we're talking all about relationships, and I'm not talking about the relationship that you have with your friends or your spouse or your boyfriend or girlfriend, but the relationships that we have with the kids in our ministry and the families that we minister to, all the way from the babies all the way up to our sixth graders or our student leaders that we're coaching. And so how do we foster a healthy, appropriate, genuine relationship with students? Well, let me first start by saying a relationship with students is not something to shy away from. It is good that kids know you and that you know the kids. It's good to know the details of their lives, and in an appropriate way, it's good for them to be able to understand parts and bits of your testimony. Now, I personally have a pretty dark testimony, and I wouldn't necessarily share to the extent with a second grader that I would with one of the men in my men's group. And so having that appropriate conversation is very important, but it's also good to be able to grow students in their walk with the Lord by using the wisdom that we've learned through our testimony and sharing bits and pieces appropriately with them too. And so I would encourage you guys in this. Having conversations where you're sharing your testimony is good. Just make sure that those conversations are appropriate. Now, let's go ahead and flip it, not just on the words that you say, but the words that the kids say. If you hear something in a classroom setting that might not be appropriate for everyone in the room, it's good to stop the conversation. Now, you want to follow up with that though, because you want to make sure that church and MSCKids is a place where they can be able to feel heard and feel like they have a voice. So make sure that you stop them after class. And if it's a girl with a girl small group leader, that's awesome. If it is opposite gender, maybe pull in someone else into that conversation so that you're able to have that sense of accountability. But have a follow-up about that conversation and go, hey, I want to talk about why you're fighting so much with your parents. Or you said that your parents are going through a divorce. Let's talk about that together privately instead of in front of the whole class, because there's some sensitive topics that come up in our small group time as well, okay? All right, so that's the relationship that we want to have, but why is it so important that we even foster a relationship with our students in the first place? Well, because it leads to deeper connection with our students. It gives them a platform to be able to truly understand us and truly feel comfortable to come to us with those difficult things that are going on in life. You know, we are also all about fostering a relationship with Jesus. And so if they are seeing us lead by example, exactly like what Ephesians 5 says, where it says, therefore be imitators of God as beloved children, walking in love as Christ loved us. If we are modeling a relationship with Jesus, then that's going to be contagious, and we are setting the stage to be able to have a deeper relationship where we can be able to point a child to Christ. And that's what it's all about, right? That's what it's all about. That's why we do what we do. But also, it gives us a place to be able to speak into their life when things get tough. It's a way for us to be able to look a student in the eye and be able to go, you know what, little John Doe, little Johnny in the room here, I know you, and I know that you are capable of more than what you're currently doing. The disrespect that you're showing me right now, I know is not normal. And so let's talk about that. And because I have a relationship with you, I can be able to hold you to that higher standard where you know that you should not be doing that in class right now. Right? So it gives us the opportunity to hold them to that standard, to be able to make discipline, which we're going to be talking about in just a couple of weeks, makes it that much easier for us to be able to get to do when we have a relationship with a student. So relationships are so valuable. Doing it in a healthy way, in a personal way, is important. It's important that the kids know enough about you that they feel like they can be able to have a relationship. But it's also important that you know enough about them where they feel like you care and have a genuine sense of love for them too. So make sure your relationships are appropriate and then lean into those relationships once they are. Hold those students to those higher standards. Have those harder conversations. Open up the floor for Christ conversations, because I guarantee you, if you do, These kids are going to benefit from it, and so are you. So let's have healthy relationships as we go about ministry here in MSC Kids. It's going to be awesome. There's going to be so much fruit that comes from this. So start small. Just get to know a kid's name, and then start asking them those deeper questions. And I guarantee you, here in about a month, you're going to see that those relationships are going to flourish. We'll see you soon.